Alright guys, so it is finally here after a bit of waiting, and that of course is going to be the new Jackall Revoltage JDM rod. Now I've had this tube for a few days now, but I'm just now able to get around to doing this video. But if you want me to do, I guess, a semi long-term review video of this rod, let me know in the comment section and hit the thumbs up button. And if I get 500 thumbs up, I will do, I guess, a somewhat long-term review on the rod and let you guys know how it performs. But let me go ahead and open up this tube and show you what this rod looks like. Now before I pull this out, I want to let you guys know that I ordered these special order from Japan Lure Shop, and we're going to talk about the price at the end of the video. But yeah, you can see that the rods come in rod sleeves, and let me get this bubble wrap off so we can take a look at them. Alright guys, so in case you haven't figured it out, I actually bought 2 Revoltage rods, not just one. And these rod bags are one piece, and they're 2 different materials. With the Revoltage, this is sewn into the bag. So this is not paint, this is actually thread sewn into the bag. And this part is like a rubber, while the top part that houses the tips are like the traditional foam padding. So very, very nice rod bags. And let me show you which models I got. So here we go guys. Both of the rods are out of their respective rod bags. And how many of you guys have ever seen 2-piece rods that came like this, where the handle is one piece and then the actual rod itself is another piece? This is how they do it in Japan when it comes to usually rods over 6'10" inches. So it's not a center section cut, it's the rod actually going into the handle section. And these are my first rods to ever join like this, so it's going to be a pretty interesting experience to see if I can tell or not that it's a 2-piece rod. But people who have ordered rods from Japan that are sectioned like this say that once you join the 2 sections together, you can't even tell it's 2 pieces. So I trust the Japanese, but let me put these rods together and show you the models I got, if you haven't figured it out already. So you can see I put one rod together, and I'm going to show you guys something for any of you guys who are going to be trying to buy this rod. The rod blank itself has this section here that's kind of like raw and unfinished, and you actually, after you line everything up, you push the rod all the way down until this unfinished section is completely disappeared. So let me line up the guides real quick. And I'm going to push it all the way in. And there. It appears to stop being able to be pushed in even farther once you've actually reached this, I guess, multi-weave pattern. But that's how you put together these JDM 2-section rods. Alright guys, so here we are with a nice close-up view of these beautiful rods. There's the butt section, and you can see the beautiful carbon fiber sculpted rear grip, and you can clearly see the models that I got. I got the 7'1" heavy ST, which stands for solid tip, and then of course I had to get a bait finesse model, the 6'9" light plus BF for bait finesse. But look at the clean styling of these rods. And observe the difference in handle shape and thickness for each model. It looks like the 7'1" has a slightly longer yet thinner handle versus the 6'9" bait finesse. They look to be using the Fuji ACS. They look to be using the Fuji ECS reel seat. You got your standard little lock nut hood there that instead of being just bright silver like a lot of rods, they are like a dark chrome. You got the 4 nut, and right here it's machine, but is a very, very fine machining. So you may want to grip these real tight in order to turn them, but you can see the, I guess, hexagonal pattern on the 4 nut. So very clean, very understated. And then the first section of the blanks, you get that multi-carbon weave that you find on a lot of rods that have the Toray blanks. And then of course, but that only goes up for a few inches on the rod blank, and then it looks to be just standard rod blank. But yeah, I'm gonna count the guides for you guys. So the 6'9" bait finesse model looks to have 6 guides are ceramic, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, including the tip for a 6'9" rod. So that's about equal with my original Poison ADRENA bait finesse rod. That's 1 inch taller. For the 7'1" heavy, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh shit, I forgot to take the damn tip protector off, but I'll put it up on the screen how many guides the 7'1" heavy has. But compared to the previous Revoltage line, these rods are very classic JDM, very classically styled, and they remind me a lot of Evergreen offerings. But just beautiful, beautiful, and the workmanship and the build quality is excellent. So I'm gonna play around with these rods for a few moments, take some observations, maybe mount a couple of reels on them, and I'll get back to you. All right, so let's start off with the 7'1" heavy. Now this rod has a combination of, I guess, different types of Toray graphite, both the M40 and the T1100 mixed around in its blank. And just like I said before, ST stands for solid tip. So it's supposed to have a solid tip, and you can definitely see where that solid tip starts, which is right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guides are in the solid tip, and this is the first time I've ever had a solid tip rod that was not bait finesse, which I'm going to use for bottom contact. So it's going to be interesting to see where that's going to be affecting the sensitivity. But the first drawback that I see, at least for me being bigger and taller than the average Japanese, is that the handle section is a bit short. I would love to have another extra inch, maybe make this a 7'2". So tucking it under my arm pit to maybe do a hook set is not going to be quite as comfortable. But keep in mind, I have longer than average arms for my height, and because of the, I guess, shorter handle section, the rod without this reel on it, which is my 2013 METANIUM, which I've customized with different parts, it feels a little bit tip heavy. It doesn't feel quite as light and balanced as, let's say, my 7'2" heavy poison ADRENA. But once the rod is on there, it actually feels really good. Balance point is about right here. Now keep in mind this METANIUM weighs about 6.2 ounces. Ideally the balance point will be here, but I think this will be a great combo if I decide to use this reel when fishing this rod. But yeah, sick looking combo. The only kind of color you see on these revoltages are the bright yellow badging that let you know which model it is. Other than that, everything is like a matte black, silver, or gray, other than of course the cork. But man, it feels good. Maybe I'll get a METANIUM shallow spool instead to use, but with this older METANIUM, it feels great. All right, so let's get to the 6'9" light bait finesse model. And this model, compared to the 7'1" heavy, actually floats. It's got that floaty feeling, and I love it so far. Now the reel I mounted on it is the 2016 ALDEBARAN BFS. Looks freaking sick. Balances perfectly. And the balance point is a little bit better than on the 7'1" heavy. Now keep in mind this ALDEBARAN BFS weighs about 4.6 ounces. And man, this combo feels awesome. Makes me think I need a heavier reel on the 7'1" heavy. But this particular model is using, I guess, the T1100 Toray graphite. And it's got an extra fast action, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah, I'd say it's extra fast, but not quite as extra fast as my original 610 poison ADRENA. But the lure rating on this rod is 3/32 of an ounce to 1/4 ounce, so about 2.5 grams to 7 grams. And I'm definitely going to be using this for bottom contact, weightless plastics. But man, it feels just so good and looks so good with this older ALDEBARAN. Now, in case I didn't say, the 7'1" heavy actually has a fast action, and that's the reason I chose it over the other heavy model that had a moderate fast action. I prefer fast and extra fast for bottom contact. All right, guys, now it's time to get to what probably a lot of you guys have been waiting for. That, of course, is how much are these beautifully exquisite JDM rods? Rods that you'll probably not see on anyone's boat deck or see anyone using them in, your local fishing tournament, if that's what you do. Well, I special ordered these from Japan Lure Shop, and that's something you might have to do. I don't see these rods being listed in many, if any, Japanese JDM shops yet. That could change, but they've just come out. But to my door, including shipping, and shipping, you know, it wasn't free for these rods. I believe the cost was like $474, and shipping was like maybe $50. Now I'm going to check my email or check my PayPal to show you guys exactly how much I paid for these rods. I'm going to put it up on the screen for you. But yeah, these rods are probably just around $200 depending on where you get them from. So literally, if these were in America costing $200, these will be competing against the likes of the Shimano Zodius. They'd be way cheaper than the ADRENAs. They'd be way cheaper than the X Prides. And they feel way better, way lighter, and way more special than the one Zodius I have, the newest model with the monocoque grip. So if you are wanting to buy one of these rods, I suggest you send out an email to your favorite JDM shop. These are not any kind of special edition item or limited run, so they should be able to get them for you guys pretty easily. And I'm going to leave a link to the Revoltage page on Jackall Japan's website, and it'll show you all the models and all the details of each model so you can figure out which one you want. So once again, let me know in the comment section if you want to see a semi long-term review on these rods, and hit the like button. So if I hit 500 likes on this video, I will do a review on one of these rods. And of course, leave a comment on which rod you want to see the little review video on. All right guys, the new Jackall Revoltage, been waiting on these ever since they announced them a few months ago, and now that I have them, other than the fact that they have shorter handles, I am extremely pleased with the look and feel and quality of these rods. And who knows, if they perform as good as they look, or maybe even better, I might pick up a couple of more models. All right guys, thanks a lot.